Hello, thanks for looking at this SC10 4x4 how-to video. In this video we're going to be showing you how to remove and replace the front and rear belt tensioner or pulley bearings. We're going to use 5 tools here: blue Loctite, the 2 and 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, flathead screwdriver, and this tool right here that came with the kit. We're going to be replacing the stock bearings with 2 yellow seal bearings that are made to withstand dirt and debris that off-road cars have. I took the spur gear apart already along with the rear belt tensioner pulley I can show you how to put those pieces back together in the correct order. So what we're going to do first is take our yellow seal bearing and our pulley right here. We're going to insert our bearing. Here we go. Then what we're going to do, we get our other little piece here, we're going to insert our cam onto our pulley. Then take our 2 millimeter Allen wrench and actually take some blue Loctite and put that on just the tip of this screw. You don't want to use too much Loctite just because you won't be able to get the screw back out then, and you'll end up stripping it. So you just want just a tad, just enough to hold the screw in there from it not backing itself out, because we definitely don't want that to happen. And then just start screwing those 2 pieces together. You want to make them nice and snug. Make sure nothing's binding once you do that. There we go. This one went in, everything went in correctly. Then what we're going to do is actually take our belt tensioner, sit it right here. Once we get it in there, we're going to flip the car around just to show you how we're going to put this. Once that's sitting there, we're going to take our other screw that holds the belt tensioner on there with another very small dab of Loctite, not too much again. Once we have a nice small little dab, we're going to hold our tensioner on and actually insert the screw into our tensioner. There we go. Once we have it, we're going to flip the car back around and adjust it how much tension we actually like to have. There we go. That seems pretty good right there. Then the next thing that we're going to do is actually start putting our spur gear and our slipper back together. We're going to take our rear drive pulley and insert it onto our shaft right here. Once we get that on there, sometimes it's a little bit tricky because the front's still on. We're going to pull it, not too much, you don't want to break anything. Just put that on there. Put it underneath our tensioner. Everything's on there right. The next thing that we're going to do is take our slipper plate right here, put this on here. It has a square design to fit inside that first piece we put on. There we go. That one's on there. Then what we're going to do is take our spur gear with our pads. I'm going to lean the car over just so the pad stays on there right. Lean it over a tad so that your pad will not fall off once you get it on. Alright, that one's on there. Then our other pad, we're going to put that on there along with our other piece right here. Make sure everything's working right. Then our spring. Then we're going to take our lock nut and put that on the end of here. And take this tool right here and just start tightening everything together. And the manual recommends 3.5 millimeters from the end of the screw, end of the lock nut. So that's where I'm just going to set it for now. You can adjust it accordingly to your track and things like that. Alright, that one's done. And our tensioner and everything's on there. The next thing that we're going to do is actually move on to our front belt tensioner. So we're going to take our cover off, our belt cover, with our 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench. That should come off nice. You want to sit that to the side. And the next thing is we're going to take our 2mm Allen wrench and flip the car around and actually take the screw out that is holding our tensioner on there. So I'm going to start unscrewing it. Once we have it out, you'll make sure you don't lose the screw or any parts that are with the tensioner. Then we have our tensioner here. We're going to take this stock bearing out and replace it with another yellow seal bearing of higher quality. So we have the pieces apart. I'm going to set them all to the side. Then this is what your flathead screwdriver is for. You're going to gently just push out onto your pulley itself just to get that old bearing out. Sit it on the ground just so you make sure you don't lose your other bearing. You don't want it flying anywhere. There we go. That one's out. Take our yellow seal bearing from Boca Bearings and insert it right there. Then our cam, put that on there. Once we have all that, we're just going to repeat basically what we did with our back one. We're going to take our screw and this very small dab of Loctite, put our Loctite on there, and just insert it into the front where our bearing is. There we go. That seems pretty good. Yep. Then we're going to push our belt down and just put our tensioner right back up on there. The next step would be this, to turn the car around and actually screw in the screw that holds our tensioner on there. Once we have that, you want to set your tension accordingly to how you like it, where you want it. I usually run mine in the middle. Make sure everything's working right, which it looks like it is. The next step would be able to take your cover right here, this cover. We'll do the rear one next. And put your cover back on your belt so no dirt and debris or anything can get on the inside of there. There we go. So this one's giving us a little bit of trouble here. Once we get it on there, then we're going to move on to our rear one. There we go. Here's a nice little snap. That one's on. Then we're going to take our rear one and do the same thing. Install this one with our 2.5mm screw. The front one uses the same size screws. Once we get our rear one lined up, they take a little bit to get lined up. Make sure everything's seated on there. And that's how you replace the belt tensioner pulleys, because a lot of people are having the problem that the belt slips off of the the front and rear pulley just because the bearings wear out, and then that causes you a lot of trouble, which is not good to have. So you can replace those stock bearings with higher quality bearings from www.bocabearings.com. Thanks for looking.